U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas meeting with Border Patrol agents in Texas today during his visit to the border.
He's touring the nation's busiest corridor for illegal border crossings, but his visit also comes less than a week before the Biden administration is set to end the Trump-era policy Title 42, which provided pandemic-related restrictions that have really kept many migrants from seeking asylum under U.S. law and international treaty.
Meantime, a court filing yesterday showed that there were about 235,000 migrant encounters at the border in April, and that is the highest number in the history of the Department of Homeland Security. Whether or not this is an intentional effort to flood the country with future Democratic voters is up for debate, but it is not a theory that record numbers are, in fact, flooding in under this administration.
And one of the folks on the front lines is joining us now. It's Sheriff Mark Lamb of Pinal County, Arizona. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So we see Mayorkas, it looks like he's, doing meetings and briefings on the readiness at the border. But people are looking at this and saying, what more than a photo op, really? We see the numbers. What does this visit do, Sheriff?
Yeah, he could have easily have gone and done that visit without the cameras. And what's funny is they don't let the cameras down on the border any other time. They clearly wanted the American people to see that Mayorkas was down there. They want you to believe that they're doing something about it, but all they're planning is bringing more people so that they can process more people in a timely manner into this country when they remove Title 42, or if they remove Title 42. So it's not about securing the border, which is what the average American wants. It's about processing more people in a more timely manner.
Yeah, I think, Sheriff, they need some new video to replace the clip that we used to play when Alejandro Mayorkas went down to the border, where he was, rightly criticized by members of CPB for a lack of support that they're getting from the top on down.
You would think that he would have a hotel room in those areas and be down there almost every day. That's what a good leader would do, trying to fix this problem. But they do it from their plush offices in Washington, D.C. And most of the time, they're far removed from what the problem actually is on a daily basis and what the line level troops are going through. And it's just it's been a show of poor leadership, really a lack of leadership.
So this is, in Texas today, but let's talk about Arizona. I know that another story broke in California, Sheriff. You may have seen it, about this big underground tunnel that was discovered out in San Diego County. I mean, the cartels, they're sophisticated, and they know that they can be successful in their attempts to run drugs and guns. What's going on in your backyard?
Oh, we have a desert on the south end of our county that runs into Mexico through an Indian reservation. We're about 50 to 60 miles off the border. So we get them flooding through that desert, especially when Border Patrol is tied up with 10,000 people a day that are being apprehended at the border, people giving up. That's what's occupying the Border Patrol, leaving the desert areas wide open. Then you have the I-10 corridor that runs through the heart of my county and actually is one of the main arteries for the cartel smuggling humans and drugs into this country. Well, every time we're out working and doing interdiction, we have a pursuit to 2 pursuits. We had, I think, 3 the other day before noon. And it's like shooting fish in a barrel when you're out doing traffic stops. You're finding load vehicle after load vehicle of people being trafficked into this country by the cartels.
It's a problem that doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. And Sheriff, a lot of people would, like yourself, I'm sure, don't think we can wait until an election or get a new president in office to change the system. So what are you doing? We've talked a lot about Texas and what they're doing down there, taking matters in their own hands, but I know you have had to take matters into your own hands as well. Tell us what you're doing.
Well, we've been grateful to have a state that supports us. Our legislators and our governor are working hard to try to figure out what they can do for us, whether it's more money, more resources. I would ask that our politicians, I've heard nothing from virtually nothing from our senators, Senator Kelly and Senator Sinema. I wish that they would speak up and hold this administration accountable, but clearly politics trumps, what is right. But on a state level, we're trying to do what we can. We're working with Border Patrol on the line level, the ground level, to see what we can do to prepare ourselves for what we think is going to be an influx of people coming into this country illegally. And what is more, an influx of the fentanyl that is being trafficked into this country. It is the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45, and yet our politicians don't even talk about it. And then that in and of itself should be grounds for removing all these people.
Yeah, Sheriff Mark Lamb, Pinal County, right there on the front lines. We really appreciate you joining us and continue to update us on what's going on there where you're at. We know Title 42 could be dropped, so we will see how it fares. And thank you again for trying to keep that border under control.
Thank you. God bless. Have a good day.
Thank you.